How's it going, everybody? I'm still having like a bit of allergy issues, so if I sound a little congested, it's because I am. But how's everybody doing? Okay. How's the levels also? I always ask this and nobody gives me any like feedback. So I'm just going to assume that levels are good unless they're not. And you tell me. Okay. So, I finally got the skin done on all these little cuties. I got the highlights on. And now I'm going to be color blocking their little loincloths and their shirts. And because the skin is all done, I don't really want to wash the clothing. I just don't want to risk like ruining all the work that I did. Um, Angel Molina, hello. So I'm just going to go in and I'm going to base coat them really dark. So I know these colors look, well, actually they don't look that dark on camera. They're a bit darker in real life, in the RL. So I'm going to base the loincloths in this dark brown, and I'm going to base the shirts in this dark blue. And again, I'm painting the shirts blue because I want them to match my Ogor Mawtribes, obviously, but I also want to be able to play them in my Orc army. So the shirts are going to be a mid-tone of this color, which I've used in my Orc army before. It's not like the blue that they're known for, but you'll sometimes see this on like pants and tubes and stuff like that. So I'm going to use this blue as like the mid-tone. So with all that in mind, I'm going to go ahead and drop a couple drops of each of these into my palette. Because I'm not going to do like all the pants. I'm going to do like pants, shirt on all the duders. Just so that if by chance I get them all done, which I don't think so, but if I do, then I can go in and start highlighting. They'll be nice and dry. Okay. Working and watching your streaming. Do you paint army for other people? I don't. It's funny that you say that because there has been a very nice person who's been asking me to paint for them, and I just don't really have the time. So I have a tournament coming up, which is what I need these guys for. So I have a tournament coming up in June, and then I want to have my second army at least like 2,000 points or so painted for the fall, just so that I have options. So I'm not going to have any time to really paint anything for anyone else. Also, I paint really slow, so I would get probably like $2 an hour if I painted for other people. So yeah, it's just not something that I think is like financially feasible for me. So I'll occasionally paint gifts for friends. But for the most part, I just paint for myself in my own armies. I might have to get a smaller brush for these loincloths, so I'm going to try with the bigger brush because I don't want to have to worry about the paint drying on it as I'm working. So we'll see if I can make this work. Also, why am I not wearing my glasses? Best Monday ever. Get to watch my bestie stream for the first time in a month and get to eat pasta sauce. Oh, is it like the pasta sauce, Psycho Squirrel? The magical pasta sauce that you get your parents to mail to you? That I have to try someday. Hey Alex, how's it going? I hope that you are well and enjoying the weekend. I guess it's Monday. It's my weekend. It's not your weekend. It's not your guys' weekend. Okay, that's probably good. Just, he's got like a little utility belt thingy on in places, so I'm not sure what color I'm gonna end up doing that, so I'm just hitting it with the brown as well. I was thinking about doing like a reddish kind of like scrag brown kind of leather, but I'm not 100% sold on it, so I'm just gonna like be painting the bits of the utility belt this brown as well until I decide what the heck I want to do. Oh, I didn't do his top. Do his top, Tanya. I have an orc army. I want to look badass. Oh, well, I mean, my painting style is, I don't think, really anything super special. It's just really cel shaded and really makes use of like contrast, like contrasting colors to sort of sell it. I'm very much like inspired by Borderlands kind of art style, like the video game. Which, I mean, it's not super sophisticated, so that's at least a good thing. I guess it's a bit like time consuming though. This color almost looks like denim when it dries. Maybe they have like little jean vests on. Hey Josh, how's it going? Happy Monday. Not wearing glasses when you paint could be fun. It'll be a wonderful surprise when you put them back on. I mean, so here's the thing. When I paint, like, not on stream, I usually just hold the model really close to my face so I see perfect up close. But when I paint on stream, like, I have to hold it far away. Come on. Come on. Come on. No, you don't want to autofocus now? We'll see if we can get it to autofocus here. Not close. Close. There we go. So yeah, when I paint down here, it's just like, it's a little bit harder to see. But you know, I do it. I do it. I get her done. So normally I would paint the sort of mid-range color and then wash it, but like I said, I don't really want to wash these because I've done the skin to completion where I want it, so I'm not gonna do that. So that's why I'm painting this fairly dark blue as a base. It'll essentially end up being the shadows color. Are you eating just sauce? Yes, with a spoon, straight out. It's the pasta sauce. Aw, amazing. Hey, Mr. Fish. Just realized I was on my personal account. Excited to see more gobos. Yeah, these guys are really fun. I kind of wish that I would almost take a break from events so I could just like take my time and paint things like at a leisurely pace, but I mean, events are also like a highly motivating thing for me to actually get stuff done, so it's okay. It's okay. We'll get it done. It'll be good. It'll be good. Just gonna do this little bit in here. Make sure that I clean up around here. I haven't eaten yet today either, so that's smart. I don't know why I do that. Just like never eat before starting to stream. I think it's because I'm just not a breakfast person. That's not true. I like breakfast for dinner. Ooh, maybe that's what I'll do for dinner tonight. I'll make pancakes. Oh, where's me meat? It's in the pot. Okay, base coat on duder number 1. Next duder. I think they're so cute, you guys. They're just adorable. Guts out. Was it like suns out, guts out? You know what? I could like, I could get down with that. I'm not really a sun worshiper, but I do enjoy like going to the beach and like actually swimming. I don't like to just like sit there, but so my good friend Alex McDougall took 4th place at the tournament in Seattle. So proud of him. Go dude. Playing his NIDs, which are like his one true love, I think, in Warhammer. He's never really like he either plays Genestealer Cult or NIDs, so maybe in the winter I'll see if I can paint some more Genestealer Cult stuff because I love those models, but I have no desire to play them, so maybe I can just like live vicariously through him and paint a few more things. I'd actually really like to paint one of those like guys on the quad. I think they're really cool. I finally finished painting my 2,000 point army and my painting motivation has basically died. That happens. Oh, that happened to me after my Custodies actually. Finally bought the Copter Grots to fill out my Stormboy, so hopefully that will help. I like the little jet goblins that Gearguts makes. I kind of want to just put like 3 on a base and like make a Daka jet. I'm taking Rory, my 9-year-old, to see her first live roller derby match with a bunch of her friends from school. Oh my god, that'll be so much fun! Roller derby season is starting up, and I'm really considering being the B coach for my old team this year. Which is like putting the lines together and managing the girls on the bench and, you know, giving people timeouts if they're getting a bit heated. I really enjoy being the B coach. I don't super enjoy being the A coach, but now that I'm not playing, it might be okay. The A coach is like the person who is calling the plays. I just don't think I have a loud enough voice for that, because you have to like scream it across the track. So, yeah, I don't think that's something that I will pursue, but maybe be coach this year if they'll have me. I think that could be really fun. Man, I keep having roller derby dreams as well, and it like makes me think, oh, maybe I could put my skates on, maybe I could do it again, and then like it rains, and I'm like, no, Tanya, you have arthritis. Like the rain makes you unable to walk downstairs, so you cannot put on skates. You can't do it, Tanya. Which is kind of sad, but I mean, you know, we do what we can. I'm gonna actually play with this, autofocus here. Let's see. Let's see if I can fix it in real time. Normally I don't have the autofocus on, but these guys are so small that I thought maybe I could get away with it. Let's see here. Turn off autofocus. To be down here. Okay, let's try that. Their name changed now. I can act a fool. I know who you are, prankster. I mean, I guess I'll call you Alex if you want. Guts out like time for our meat that's running away to get inside my gut, just like a true ogre. I see, I see. 4 grot jets welded together like a Quinjet from Fantastic Four would be hysterical. I don't know anything about, that's Marvel, right? I don't know anything about like comic book land. Yeah. My husband wants to play Marvel Crisis Protocol, and I'm like, I literally don't know anything about superheroes, so you know, we could try. See, and that's the thing. If you don't know anything about the universe, then I feel like you sort of just default to looking at like the stats and trying to make like crazy busted lists and stuff. And I don't know if that's cool either, you know? I don't know. But he super duper wants to play, so maybe I should just give it a shot. Like, the only thing that I really, really like about the Marvel Universe is Magneto. I think he's just, like, so freaking cool. I like bad guys that sometimes do good things, you know? Um, and, like, I like lawful evil bad guys. Like, they've got their own code. So, yeah, Magneto's pretty cool. Okay. I like to do like a quick once over. I nicked a little bit of blue on the brown, but that's okay because we're going to do highlights after. So this doesn't have to be like super good. We just have to make sure that we're not getting, I'm talking as if I'm in third person. I just have to make sure that I'm not nicking the green skin because it's already done and I don't want to revisit that. Basically what you were describing. No, I don't want them to be like attached together. I want them to be like individual. I just want them on one like flight stand, like one base, so they're like in formation. That's what I want. That's what I want. Man, so in my game on Saturday, I actually think the Grots were like the MVP. Not because they like they didn't really win me the game, but they like overperformed. So if you're a patron, you can go over to Patreon and you can read my battle report. That took me way too long to write. But yeah, they basically like held an Ale Guzzler Gargant until they were able to take the last wound off of it in like glorious melee. It was like just the most ridiculous thing because these guys are not very good. They're not good. They're basically there to tie stuff up and act as a screen. And like they did 3 wounds to that Ale Guzzler Gargant. Like, go little Noblars. Oh my goodness. Go little Noblars. You could do it to that like TikTok song. Go little Noblars. Bad guys who are only bad by society standards are my absolute favorites. Magneto is iconic. Yeah. Yeah, so I think like if I did play Marvel Crisis Protocol, I'd have to have Magneto in there just because he's fantastic. But yeah, other than that, I'm like, I don't know what else I'd put in there. Like, do you go like all the rest of the quote bad X-Men, or do you like put different things in there? You know, I guess because he's kind of worked with the X-Men before from time to time. From what I hear, I have no idea. I could just be bullshitting. Like I could put just like regular X-Men in there, maybe. Maybe. Noblars are also there to be lunch when the meat runs out. Yeah, they're too like weedy though, you know, there's not actually a lot of meat on them. So they're usually pretty safe. I love the coverage of the Monument blue paints. They are like my absolute favorites. Just absolutely stunning pigment, and like they don't have to be thinned. They just work so nice straight out of the pot. Oh, I like them. I like them. You should write Ogor battle reports like a recipe blog. The battle report is the rambling story, and then And it's like the most disgusting stew like you've ever like heard. Every recipe is basically the same but with different chopped up enemies in the pot. Oh, that's so funny. So, funny enough, funny you say this because sometimes, as I get blue on this guy, damn it. Sometimes I will sing songs in an ogre kind of voice about sticking things in my pan. I mean, it should be pot, but there's a lot more things that rhyme with pan. Um, so, yeah. I mean, maybe when I go to the tournament, I should, like, role play as an ogre. And I can sing my songs and make my opponents laugh. I had a game like that recently where Gross outperformed other units, had a squad of 30 Orrible Gits that wrapped a tank so no one could disembark. And there were so many Grots, the tank had to just sit. Oh man, awesome. Wee, meeting done. Get to chill and hang out now. Thanks for hanging out, Rob. How's it going? Yeah, like I just couldn't believe like how good the Nobblers did. I was like, oh man, like this Ale Guzzler Gargant is gonna come in and like kill them and stuff. And I actually did, because I didn't really have any other combats for them that turn, so like I actually did give them all out defense. So they did actually get a save. Normally they don't get a save. But yeah, they just like wrapped that guy and he couldn't go anywhere. It's like, it was pretty good, pretty good. I cannot tell you just like how much I'm enjoying Age of Sigmar, which is really funny because like in terms of lore, I much prefer science fiction. Like I grew up on Star Trek and like I did read Lord of the Rings, but I wasn't like a huge fantasy. That's not true. I like Conan. But yeah, I wasn't like a huge like fantasy nerd like I was like a huge sci-fi nerd. So it's funny to me that I'm just like really enjoying like the lore. Like I binged 2 Plus Tough. Like I binged all of his lore videos. Not all of them, but I binged all the ogre ones. I binged all the Night Haunt ones. I binged all the ones on like the realms. Like I just kind of went ham, and like I actually like the lore for Age of Sigmar. It's not bad. I know like a lot of people who were invested in the old world would probably say that I'm crazy, but I was not invested in the old world, so I really just don't have anything to compare it to. See if I can actually, okay, hold on everybody, I'm gonna move my tripod so that it's easier for y'all to kind of see what I'm doing. Let's do that. So I think that my Night Haunt are going to be from the Realm of Shadow, because their bases are kind of shadowy and dark. And then that would make sense why they don't glow. Do you know what I mean? Because they're in shadow, they're dark. So, yeah, I'm gonna like, I want to like write some lore for my armies for Age of Sigmar as well. And I think that my Beastclaw Raiders are going to be from the Realm of Beasts, Gur. Just because the way I did the original Ogre bases, it's like, it looks kind of sandy and dry. So I figure it could be from Gur, right? AOS is my main jam for sure. It's such a fun and colorful setting. Yeah, I like that the like different realms have different personalities, but you can also find like most sort of biomes within all the realms. So yeah, I find that really cool, right? Like there's like a big ocean or something that in the realm of death that the Skaven accidentally drained, and then there was like Lumineth that were like, oh crap, we've been found out. which is funny because the Lumineth are like Nagash is pissed at the Lumineth for stealing his souls, right? I find this okay. So here's the thing. I love that new Skaven model that was previewed. Like it's amazing. I'm just gonna say that. So if I ever decide to do a Chaos army, I think it'd have to be Skaven, right? Because like they have the best lore. They're just so like random and fun, and yeah, that's what I think. It'd have to be Skaven for Chaos. Also, does it seem like the Great Horned Rat kind of gets like the short end of the stick? People are like, oh, the 4 Chaos Gods. And then Great Horned Rat's over here like, what am I? What am I? Chopped liver? Come on, man. Gourmands. Is it like gourmands, but gourmands? Also, I was thinking about, like, when I go to the tournament, just, like, bringing so many snacks and just eating the entire time, because I'm an ogre. Aww! Thanks, Alex, for reminding people about the likes. I'm probably the worst content creator, because I forget to mention those things. Hey, Scary, how's it going? I am slowly working on base coating the clothes on my little duders. But yeah, I really wanted to be able to use these guys for both of my armies, so that's why I chose these ones. Because I figured, you know, if they're from the realm of Gur also, then they'd be a little bit more feral, I think, my Noblars. So the Primal Bruiser goblins just seemed to fit that. That just seems like it makes sense to me. So, oh no, I got some blue on his elbow. Good. Doing lore is a must. Have a geology-based story for my ogres where they follow a ravenous river delta that's created by the Sylvaneth trying to plant a seed from the realm of life. Oh, I like it. Yeah, I'm gonna have to sit down. I have to actually sit down and like have a lore session because I also have to write some lore for my Necromunda gang. Because like I named them, but now they need to have, and I have some ideas for them, but I need to sit down and like actually like flesh them out. So yeah, I'm gonna need to sit down and have a lore day. Also, a number of people at game night were like, we want to play Necromunda, so and usually I'm the rules person. I don't know why, because I'm like terrible at rules, so I have to study them. So that means I'm gonna have to sit down and like make my cheat sheets and like actually learn the rules, because I've been messing up like every single game that I've played so far of Necromunda, so because it's quite crunchy. So I am gonna have to sit down and like figure that out. I hear Gur and instantly think of I've seen like one episode of Invader Zim because Kyle, the owner of Gear Guts, he like made me watch it, and I was like, I don't get it. Like I don't. TV is just like not my thing. With like TV and movies, I'm just usually like either. So this is with TV. TV, I'm normally like I don't get it. And movies, I'm like, I've figured it out within, like, the first little bit. So, it's hard for me to, like, get into movies and stuff. But, oh, my mom and I did go see the new Fantastic Beasts movie yesterday for Mother's Day. It was pretty good. Dark as fuck. But, yeah, it was pretty good. I liked it. Again, though, like I did see the end coming. So there was that. But it's okay though. It was pretty good still. Ugh. Okay, I might have to switch to a smaller brush. I don't want to though. I don't want to. I like having like my paint workable for a longer period of time, so I just really don't want to switch to a smaller brush, but these guys are so little that I might have to. We'll see. See how it goes. I like that these guys have like this guy has a helmet that's like a bit of jawbone. And I don't know, I find them hilarious. It was made by the creator of Johnny and the Homicidal Maniac, which was a Hot Topic exclusive comic for a while. Oh, interesting. Interesting. And again, like, comics are not something I really got into either, with a few exceptions. I really like Tank Girl. And I like BPRD and Hellboy. Those ones are pretty good. And there's like a little indie comic called Dog Witch that I really enjoyed. Again, Dog Witch, not a hero. Sometimes she does good things. Tank Girl, not a hero. Definitely not a hero. Sometimes she does good things. She's definitely just like a chaotic element in this world. I'm seeing like a theme to some of my favorite stuff. My wife hates that. I do it all the time. Ah, this is silly. He did it. Then I get smacked upside the head. Yeah, I really try to just keep my mouth shut, but yeah, I mean, I find it annoying when I'm just like, oh, it's this guy, and then it turns out to be right. Like, I want to be wrong. Screenwriters, I want to be wrong. Help me. Help me be wrong. Like, here's what I think it is. I think that well, I don't know, there wasn't any foreshadowing in the Fantastic Beasts movie, so I don't know. I don't know why I saw that one coming. Yeah, I don't know. I don't have the answers there. Don't have the answers. But yeah, normally I find foreshadowing is a device that is just used way too much in Hollywood right now. I think my favorite comic book at the moment is Rat Queens. Are they actually rats? I think as a Harry Potter fan, I had a hard time with the most recent movie. It wasn't awful, but it wasn't great. Not sure if it's because I actually left my house to see it or not, but was very sad. You didn't like it? Interesting. I thought it was really good. I thought it was like, I mean, it wasn't really good, but the acting was decent. Like, it was a beautiful movie. I liked the characters. I wish that they would have played into it a little bit more in the idea of like creating more chaos and like failing more. But I get like there's like a time restraint on how much you can actually put in a movie, so that's probably a little bit of what happened there. I liked that there was still like a lot of beasts in it, even though we were most of the time in cities and things. I thought that was pretty cool. I liked that it was ensemble cast as well, because I actually think that Newt Scamander is not a very likable character. I mean, he has like a little bit of character growth, but there's like no character growth in this movie for him. I like that Jacob had character growth. Thought that was pretty good. I thought that Dumbledore was portrayed really well. You know, I think that his like inner turmoil was portrayed really well. It's also nice, I think, to see a character that is like pretty OP, and seems to have all of the answers for everything else. It's really interesting to see that they don't have any of the answers for themselves. It's kind of an interesting, I think it's an interesting way to make Dumbledore more relatable, in a way. It's a fantasy story about a group of lady adventurers, a warlock rockabilly, a klepto halfling, a hipster dwarf fighter, and a cleric that worships herself. And they named their group the Rat Queens. That's so funny. No, that sounds hilarious. The beasts were fantastic. They definitely were. I found the unnecessary use of Quidditch hilarious because that's a whole subsection of the fandom. There was none in the series, so they just slapped some references in there. Interesting. I feel like it's like a core part of the universe. So I think putting it in there kind of reminds you that this is happening in the same universe as Harry Potter. Right? Because there's so much time that is elapsed between like the Fantastic Beasts stuff and the Harry Potter stuff. I think it's a cool way of like reminding us, like all of this is setting us up for what's going to happen in the Harry Potter series. So I think that's cool. But I could see how it would feel a little bit unnecessary. I do have a feeling though that like the things inside the cases, like they all had something to do with the person who was carrying it. So I think that's why the Quidditch stuff was in there. I just would have liked to have seen that explored a little bit more, maybe with like character flashbacks or something like that, because I believe that that was the case that Newt's brother was carrying that had the Quidditch stuff in it. So if that's the case, I would have liked to have seen that, but again, it might have been cut out for time. Subtle nods. Not subtle nods. Oh, okay, I gotcha. Again, like, this movie did feel like there was, like, a lot of stuff cut out of it that probably shouldn't have been cut out of it. But I think that they wanted to keep it under 3 hours. It was actually substantially under 3 hours, though. I feel like they could have put an extra 10 minutes of stuff in there to make it a little bit more cohesive. Are you like, if they made a Fantastic Beasts novel, do you like novel series, do you think that they might explore all the things that feel like they were cut out? Would you read it? Because I would read it. In general, I like the books more than the movies. I think I was like a little bit too advanced in my reading to read the first one when it came out. Because I was like one of those advanced readers in 1997 when I was in school. So I feel like at that time I wouldn't have grabbed it because it was like a little bit too little kid for me. Like I was already reading classics then. So I think I like missed the original hype. So I watched the first movie and I loved it. And then I was like, okay, I'm gonna read all the books. And then I binged all the books. I like bought a big box set of them. And I binged all of the books that were like available up until that time. I think when I finally got around to it, it was like they had 6. I think they had 6 books out. Still a fun film, just acknowledging some of the stuff I noticed. Oh, for sure. Like no movie is perfect. In fact, most movies are not. But yeah, I do feel like definitely some stuff was left out that probably shouldn't have been left out. But it was pretty fun. Obviously, they left it open for another one, so that's gonna happen. I did feel like Mads Mikkelsen did make a very good Grindelwald, though. I think he's actually a very good actor. Like, he was the best part of Casino Royale for me. I always have to like do like a double triple check just to make sure that I didn't miss anything. So that looks pretty good. Move on to the next one. Content idea about wargaming armies, of explaining armies as low entry skill, high skill cap, or high entry skill, high skill cap. Some armies seem more punishing to mistakes than others. Yes, that is definitely true. Just trying to think, like, could I make an entire Be Nice Roll Dice about that? Because I could get Alex, actually, to come on to talk about that as somebody who plays Gene Stealer called Forces of the Hive Mind, which, Tyranids now have changed, but for the longest time, they were very much like high entry skill. Like the skill floor was very low, but the ceiling is very high. Yeah, I mean, I could definitely think about how to do it. I just don't know if it's enough for an hour-long discussion. I mean, I'm really good at talking, though, so I probably could make it an hour, but... And yeah, and I'm not really playing 40k too much, so I'd have to like... I guess I could talk about Guard, because... I don't know. It's hard, because with Guard, I'm not sure if they actually do have... if, like, the skill required to play them is a barrier to entry, because really, like, you just kind of shoot stuff. You're not really relying on, like... multiple buffs or anything to make the army work. It just doesn't really work. Yeah, interesting. Let me mull it about. Is there any particular armies, Rob, that you are like struggling with personally, or like what makes that topic so interesting to you? I would 1000% read it and would be mad as hell if it didn't cover things that were missing, right? I skipped the first 2 books because they were too slow, but I read the 3rd one. Yeah. The I didn't find them slow. They were just like written for like 10 and 11-year-old kids. So, I mean, I read them and I read them twice, but like to go back and reread them, I don't think I could, but I definitely could start reading like Prisoner of Azkaban. Yeah. Even other games like Necromunda and Infinity. I don't play Infinity, so I have no frame of reference for that one. And yeah, Necromunda is not a competitive game so much. Like, the game system itself is actually quite crunchy. And it's a super narrative game. It's not balanced at all either, so it's not, I mean, no game is really balanced, but it's not meant to ever be balanced or played competitively. And I don't know enough about the other factions. The only factions I really know anything about are my own, which is Escher, and my husband. He plays the, what the heck are they called? The big, dumb mining guys. I don't want to say rock grinders. I don't think that's right. And then the Arbites. I know a little bit about them. My friend Chance plays them. Don't know anything about any of the other ones, so can't really comment too much on that. But yeah, in general, I think people who play Necromunda are just like in it for the story. So they don't really care if they're playing it well or not. I thought Val's analogy was really good on the last Be Nice Roll Dice GW, building a bridge by pulling up the bit of track behind them when they're trying to balance 40k. Yeah. I mean, like, looking at the numbers, they are bringing down the top performers, right? Like, the win rates are getting there. They're not perfect. However, they're not bringing up anybody really behind them, I don't think. I mean, they are. The mid-range armies, I think, are getting pulled up, but the underperforming ones at the very bottom are just really not moving. So it would be nice if they could sort of identify why that is. I think that's the problem. I think they haven't really looked at those underperforming factions to be able to identify why they're doing so poorly. Which, I mean, I could tell them why Guard is doing so poorly, but nobody's asking me. Yay! So it doesn't really matter. So I think that they are trying, though. I think that they are trying. So that's good. And yeah, so I experienced like my first sort of like taste, not last weekend but the weekend before, of like the busted Age of Sigmar stuff. And like, yeah, it's super powerful. Like, those little dragons are super powerful. But at no point did I feel like it was as hopeless as I did playing 40k. So I'm super excited to be releasing the next video of Be Nice Roll Dice with AOS Coach, because he explained to me a lot about why it feels that way, and I can't wait to share that with you all. I think it was a really good talk. He's a really nice dude, and I think it's kind of illuminating, that one. Goliath, thank you, Zan. Thank you. It's actually a pretty good idea because my buddy plays Thousand Suns, and about 5 games in he realized he missed like a whole section of special abilities. Way harder army than what he thought. Honestly, Thousand Suns is one of the toughest ones. I think Thousand Suns, I think Gene Stealer Cult, potentially Chaos Demons, potentially Sisters of Battle are like the most complicated armies to play. Yeah. But yeah, I actually don't find Guard is complicated to play in terms of like the rules, because you just don't really have any rules. The complicated part is like learning to play perfectly, learning to move perfectly, learning like perfect target priority, and that's the hard part with Guard. But Guard is like not difficult to play. You don't have like a million moving pieces that you have to manage. It's literally just move perfect to protect your stuff and deny points because you can't score points. So yeah, it's just move perfect, perfect target priority, and then you have to roll good. You have to delete stuff, and if you don't, then it's gonna be even more hard going into the next rounds. So that's kind of where Guard is at. I guess we could talk about like, yeah, maybe I could. I have to sit down and like brainstorm. I'm such like a boomer. I have to like brainstorm with pen and paper to organize my thoughts. Such a boomer. That all of the changes are kind of short-sighted. They're trying to address the problems of the latest releases changes, but aren't fundamentally fixing anything. I mean, they're bringing down the win rates of the newest stuff, but yeah, I just feel like it shouldn't be like that to begin with. It feels very shady. Like, it feels like it's just to sell models, and then, okay, we wait a month, we've sold all the models we want to sell, so now we'll nerf it. It's just kind of what it feels like. So I don't know if that's the case or not. That's just what it feels like to me, and that just like kind of feels shitty. Like if Guard come out and they're ultra broken like Tyranids are right now, I'm gonna be so sad, and I'm not gonna play them until an FAQ comes out that like brings them down to like a 55% win rate at least. Just because I don't like when people come to the table and they're like, even though you bring a list that's like not the greatest thing that's in the book, and they are still dejected and they think they're gonna lose. I hate that. I would rather be playing like the underpowered list, you know? So like my favorite 40k tournament is turned into a team format, which I think is kind of cool. And I would love to go. It's a 40k tournament, by the way. And I would love to go. And I would just play my Guard, as long as Guard doesn't have a new book by then, which they shouldn't. They're not announced yet, so. So yeah. It's like it's a tough place for me, right? Because I really want people to like enjoy the game from start to finish, and like seeing people starting the game not having fun, like they're not having fun, like they've decided it's not going to be fun before they've even set up their models. It like just feels so bad to me. Like I would just rather not play then. They're never going to make a balance change that lets them take their hands off and leave the balance as it is. Correct. As soon as they look down, that coyote is going down the canyon. I know nothing about AOS. Do you think Soulblight Gravelords are an easy to get into army? I think they look cool, but look cool and lose all the time. Because I don't know what to do, would feel bad. Okay, so I play like a quote unquote like bad army right now. Like ogres technically don't do very well competitively. I think if you're just playing with people who just want to play AOS, you'll be fine, because most people are, it just feels different. I don't know. I think that the reward for most people who are playing AOS is just playing and bringing cool models. So for me, it doesn't feel as heavy and sweaty as playing 40k even casually. So with a couple of exceptions, I think Sylvaneth and Gloomspite Gits probably would be like a little bit more difficult to play. Like if you really don't want to lose all the time, probably stay away from those two armies. But like, even Gloomspite Gits, like if you take the trolls, which are awesome by the way, then they're pretty good. But yeah, I don't know. It doesn't feel the same. So like even if you're learning, I still think that you won't get like absolutely crushed all the time. If you're coming in from 40k and you were doing all right in 40k, like you'll have a pretty good idea of like maybe like wargaming concepts, I guess is what I'm looking for, like board control and screening and stuff like that. Screening is very important in Age of Sigmar because anything can kill anything. So yeah, I don't know. Screening units are super important. I also have a dog down here. Hi buddy. I know you're gonna need to go for a walk in a couple minutes, right? Don't worry, buddy. We'll go. Sounds like someone still has the feel bads about her custard stomping some Orky boys. So that game, if you're talking about the play on game, they actually asked me if I wanted to re-rack after the first turn. That's how badly that first turn went for me. But yeah, that is one instance of somebody that like came to the table and I could tell that they kind of thought that they were going to lose. Even though I made that list like to be kind of Highlander style. I made it to sort of like show off my collection, and I basically just really made a list that I thought looked really cool, and I didn't really worry too much about like efficiency or anything like that. And yeah, it did kind of like make me sad where he like thought he was gonna lose. And honestly, like if that shield captain didn't ace all of those like feel no pains and Gaz got into my lines, like it'd be a completely different game, honestly. But yeah, I do feel bad, and I played one game after that with the Custodes, and then I never played 40k again. So yeah, I'm not gonna lie about it. Yeah, I actually think switching to Custodes was probably a really bad idea for me if I wanted to keep playing Age of Sigmar or 40k. However, it was a really good thing because I started playing Age of Sigmar and I've been having way more fun. So yeah, I guess everything sort of happens for a reason. Ooh, I'm gonna have to get a small brush for in there. I need a teeny tiny brush. What's this one? Ninth is just an awful edition overall. A few good mechanics, but it's overly crap. I think that I like the rules. I like the rules for sure. I don't like the codexes. The codexes have made everything really like sweaty, you know, like it's really like you have to remember a lot of stuff and it's very complicated, and if you just took the rules out of the rule book, it's not a bad system. But you just add all the extra crap that's in the codexes and it's like it's not a casual game anymore. So I kind of half agree with that statement, Colin. Either way, like I'm not gonna trash like, I'm not gonna yuck people's yum. It's just not something I'm enjoying playing right now. Just the way I want to play the game, it's not super compatible with that. But some people love it, and that's cool. Hello, hello from south of the border. Well, hello, Artemis Steve. How's it going? Highlander rules are awesome. Yeah, so in general I make a lot of armies like that because I like having a variety of different things on the table. I just that's just the way that I like to play the game. I like it to look very diverse. So yeah, I like that. Knowing what you want out of a game is super important. Sucks how you found out. Happy you found the happiness again. Thank you, Mr. Fish. Yep. I'm glad that I found, like, the bug to play again, too, because it's looking a little bleak there for a while. So, I'm just gonna finish up this Juder. So if y'all have any questions, make sure to pop them in the chat. Good job, Tanya. Good job. Where am I stuck here? I'm enjoying, but that's because I like playing games. I'd prefer other systems, but unfortunately friends aren't as flexible with what games they will play. Yeah, that is definitely a thing, and that's why I actually left playing Age of Sigmar 1.0, is because everybody was, like, not playing it anymore, and they wanted to play 40k. So, Age of Sigmar was my first game. So, and now all the people that I want to play 40k with aren't playing it, so moving on was something that had to happen. And then my husband and I decided, we're like, well, if we want to play Age of Sigmar, we kind of have to take more of a leadership role in creating a community of people who also want to play Age of Sigmar, with a sort of focus on making sure that the community kind of stays healthy. So that's what we're doing. Sometimes you kind of have to just, like, even though you maybe don't want to lead, you kind of have to look at it and be like, well, I guess if I want to play the thing that I want to play, I'm gonna have to put up or shut up, you know? Oh, I don't know if I can actually paint this. Good enough, y'all. See, that's why I actually prime black, is because if there's a spot that I can't paint, then I'm like, oh, it's a shadow. Because I'm lazy. And I see that I missed a spot. Where did that spot go? There it is. I know, buddy. We're gonna go soon. Okay, let me get caught up with the chat here. I mean, I got 9 done. That's almost half. So slow, you guys. Let's read the chat. Mr. Fish, is part of the problem with, in general, it's kind of hard to find your army, and you have to... I might not even be able to get to all of this. Okay. I'm building orcs to eventually try 40k. I just really want alternate activations. Some bat reps seem like a turn 1 execution of shooting. I just really want to alternate activations. Some battle reports seem like a turn 1 execution of shooting. I mean, I prefer alternate activations. Hold on a second. Okay, now I can finish with the chat. I'm not quite sure what that means. Some bat reps seem like a turn 1 execution of shooting. I mean, it depends on the army, right? Like a shooting army, like some Tyranid builds or Tau or whatever. Yeah, it is. It's gonna be like a lot of shooting. But some armies are all melee, and some armies don't do anything really well. Poor guard. So for them, it's just really moving. So I'm not really too sure. Bring back armor values and armor phases. Bring back templates. Deep strike, scatter. Those brought more risk to the game. High risk, high rewards. Oh, hey, Colin, are you gonna play Horus Heresy then? Because that's all in Horus Heresy. I'm still up for a game of 40k, especially if Highlander rules. Highlander is my favorite. If somebody's like, hey, you want to play Highlander? I'd be like, hell yeah, let's do it. I started in 8th edition, but I think I would like Deep Strike Scatter. You definitely have to be careful with your Deep Strike. 100%. Because if you like land on something or you fall off the board, then you die. You just lose that unit. Thanks for being awesome. Oh, thank you, Steve. I saw you're having Dan on Just Put Paint on It. Are you going to do anything for his graduation? I mean, I congratulated him and told him I was proud of him. I don't... What could we possibly do? Really? I'm not sure. Just read my last post that was written poorly. I mean, it's okay. I don't think it was written poorly. I just don't understand, like... I'm just not really too sure, like, how to answer the question. I got my Death Guard Horus Heresy army right now if I have a choice of Marvel Crisis Protocol, Blood Bowl, board games, or 40k. 40k is the last choice by far. Yeah, I'm kind of in the same boat, honestly. Like, I think it's Age of Sigmar, board games, Necromunda, 40k. I think that's like the order of what I want to play. Yeah. Okay, I have a doggy that needs to go for a walk. So I also need to eat something because I'm dumb and I never eat before I do these things. But I did some work on my duders. These guys have their clothes on, at least. I'm hoping, I am really, really hoping that I will actually finish these guys this week now that the skin is done, because the skin is like the hard part. But if not, I'll be working on them next week as well. If I do finish them, I have two options. So I can either slap chop these guys. I'm going to paint them as Heresy Era Alpha Legion. Or I have just like a bunch of sergeants, essentially, and like leaders. Or I can paint my butcher, my ogre butcher. So those are my options. I'm going to play it out and see if I want to paint skin or if I just want to slap chop something really fast. So go eat. Yes, I need to go eat. Thanks for the chat. As always, everyone have a great day. Yes, thank you so much for hanging out with me, everybody. So Wednesday, Be Nice, Roll Dice with Age of Sigmar Coach, AOS Coach comes out. And then Thursday, we have Baldemort on Just Put Paint on It, so this will be super fun. And then Friday, we have Lonely Havoc Dan from 1 Hour Hero? What? Heroes Brush Hour. Heroes Brush Hour on. Dan is one of my favorite people in the whole world, so things are gonna get crazy, and I hope that you can make it. So thank you so much for hanging out. Enjoy the rest of your day, and until next time, be nice and roll dice. Bye, everybody.